Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. What's popping, guys? Welcome to ZeerTalks Football slash FCB because I'm going to collaborate this video with that FCB channel, of course. And welcome to the quarterfinal second leg prediction video. Of course, we did it for the first leg. I told you guys we'll be back doing this for the second leg. And here we are. And the question I have is there any remontada that's possible? I mean, last time, the games were played last week. I mean, this happened. This is one of the things that happened. Noah being clutch, and we'll get to that. And that's one of the games I'm talking about in which if a remontada for Real Madrid is possible. I mean, I doubt it, but we'll get to it. Guys, before we begin, you know exactly what to do. Subscribe, press alarm bells, future content notifications, like, comment your way, go check the socials, and hopefully you're good wherever you are. Bear with me, I'm not feeling too well. I don't know if it's on because of the weather or it doesn't make sense. So I don't know why I'm sick all of a sudden, but it is what it is. Yeah, I say we begin anyway. And I say we get through this very quickly. Now, let's talk about the Tuesday games and then the Wednesday games. So these two, and then we'll get to these two. So we're gonna begin with the Barca Atleti game. Now the game ended 2-0 to Atletico Madrid in the Camp Nou, as you can clearly see. So Atletico Madrid do have a 2-0 lead. And listen, I'm not gonna lie. This is gonna be one of them ones that if Atleti are going to go through, they're going to have to defend for their lives. As for Barcelona, they need to get an early goal and then get another one. They need to keep attacking. But my fear with Barcelona at the Real Air Metropolitano defensively, sus. And then my question is Martin available? Because I heard he got hurt in the game against Espanyol, which I think, if I'm not mistaken, they won 5-1 or 4-1 in La Liga. So they should be very comfortable now. And I'm not going to show you all the information now because I'm not trying to take too long searching all this stuff. But they won big in La Liga. And listen, at the end of the day, it is one of them ones in which, yeah, like, personally, what he did was just idiotic. I don't know if y'all agree, disagree. Probably gonna agree. Any Barca fans, you're most likely gonna agree. Some will even say robbery, but I don't think that's robbery. He's an idiot. Last man, and he's doing that. I believe it was to Simeone's son. Like, what are we doing, bro? What are we doing? And by the way, Rafinha is still a big miss for them, and it showed in the first leg, which is mad because usually Lamine Yamal is supposed to be the guy that steps up, but it is what it is, isn't it? It's how the cookie crumbles. And then they have Bernal missing Christensen as usual. And as for them, Mark Pobil. Now, did he get suspended in the last game? I don't know if he did. But regardless, it says he's suspended for some reason. I don't know if he got one of the yellow cards that makes him miss the game. Anyone in the comment section down below, let me know. Hanchko apparently is injured. Interesting. Oblak, doubtful. Jimenez, Cardoso, etc. Barrios. So we're most likely thinking about this team, if I am not mistaken. Maybe there's somebody missing. I have no idea. But regardless, I think the difference in this game coming up on Tuesday, and which would affect the tie, is this individual. I think this guy, he's going to do whatever it takes, whatever it means necessary to just get the job done. You don't even give a shit to win now that he's 2-0 up. So, guys, keep in mind, it's 2-0 on aggregate to Atletico Madrid. I'm going to predict that it's going to be Atletico Madrid and Barcelona 1-1 draw, which means 3-1 victory on aggregate to Atletico de Madrid, and they head to the semi-final. And by the way, just to let you know, the head-to-head between Barca and Atletico Madrid has not been great when it comes to Europe historically. And this season, Atletico's had their number. I know Barca has their number in La Liga, but in the Copa del Rey, I mean, they knocked them out in that same stadium they're playing in. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm saying about in regards to Barcelona and Atletico de Madrid. Now, the other Tuesday game. Now, I watched this game and I did a reaction and I collabed it with this channel on top of the FCB channel. Go check it out. The game ended 2-0 to PSG at Parc des Princes against Liverpool, and Liverpool now get to play at home at Anfield, but they have to try to pull off a comeback, which mathematically it's possible. However, if I'm being objective, the way Liverpool played last time, I can only probably say few players performed. Probably, in my opinion at least, McAllister, Wirtz here and there, and Frimpong. Everybody else, I was not. Even Gravenberg, I was disappointed a little bit with him. I was very, yeah, cool. He's good at taking on a man and stuff like that, but at some point he had to release the ball and he didn't. Um, it is what it is. So Boslai he had a good start and then all of a sudden faded. Same with the Akitike, he was non-existent. Like, I don't know, Arnie Slot is an issue with this team, man. It's like, from what I heard, yeah, and correct me if I'm wrong, Liverpool fans, this guy thinks of Enrique too much. But then the problem is when he faces Enrique, brother is allowing these men to play football against them. Why not have a go at them? I don't know. I don't know what's going on with these men. But as for PSG, they're at their best at the best time. I don't even know what their result was in the league against Lons if they played. Did they play against Lons? No, they're just playing immediately again. There you go. So the game did get postponed with Lons. So that's jarring because I want Saud Abdelhamid to win the league. Man. Anyone that follows Saudi Pro League, anyone that's Saudi will know. We need Saud Abdelhamid to win, man. What is this? Anyway, besides the point, um, yeah, I'm not gonna lie. They're gonna have too much to do. They're gonna have too much for Liverpool the way that they play football and the way these men play football. Personally, it's 2-0 on aggregate at the moment. Make it 5-0 on aggregate. I'm going 3-0 PSG at Anfield. The mad thing is as well, the head-to-head. I mean, PSG is gonna add to it at this point, bro. Like, it's just pack it up. You know what I mean? So, yeah. So far, so we are in keeping ourselves in track, in the same track. Atleti, 1-all draw. So 3-1 in aggregate. Here, 3-0 in Anfield, so 5-0 in aggregate. Now, we'll leave this for last. Let's go with Arsenal and Sporting. Listen, 1-0 win for Arsenal away from home. And I have to say, Arsenal are very fortunate that Raya exists. Very fortunate. Because you know what? As much as I think that Raya is very rash, and he's always off his position and stuff like this season, I've also seen him make some big saves. And from what I saw in the highlights, obviously I didn't watch the full 90 minutes because I was watching the Bayern game as a Bayern fan. He made saves. And guys like Catamo, guys like Trincao, which by the way hit the woodwork. Imagine if he didn't. That could have been 1-0 early doors. Luis Suarez had his moments here and there. At times they were getting off the press as well, which is mad against Arsenal. You know what I mean? Madness. You know what I'm saying? Yes, did Zubimendi score? Sure, but he was off. Gyökeres was offside. So it is one of them. He, by the way, but he actually almost scored straight from the corner directly. I couldn't believe it. But yeah, Arsenal, listen, they just lost to Bournemouth in the Premier League, which is not good for them at all. And to be quite frank and honest, they're about to bottle the Premier League when I just thought that they probably wouldn't have. Now they actually have to go beat Man City after they take care of Sporting. Will they? We'll see. Listen, with Arsenal, it's just Arteta, man. Arteta approaching games like a coward is what's hurting him. If he just grew a pair of balls, I promise you, with like some of the players that they have, they do a job. But he's just a coward, you know. And by the way, but Saka looks like he's doubtful. Timber's doubtful. Mikel Moreno is out the entire season. As for them, I don't know much. By the way, who did they play against? Because I actually don't know for anything about them. They won 1-0 away against Amadora. Okay. So, yeah, I mean, when it comes to Sporting, listen, one thing I'll tell you all, we have seen that Sporting has beaten Arsenal on penalties, if I'm not mistaken, in the Europa League to knock him out. Funny enough, if I'm not mistaken, was it? No, it was around 16, I think, or quarterfinal. Somebody correct me if you're an Arsenal fan. Yeah, but that might go through the minds of an Arteta and of the players that was playing in that said team that what you call it, got eliminated to Sporting. But again, it's few years apart. And to be quite frank and honest, listen, as much as Arsenal do bottle, I don't see them bottling this one. I personally think they'll get the job done at the Emirates, especially now that they have a bit more about them compared to previous years. So listen, I'm gonna personally say 2-0, meaning 3-0 on aggregate. That's what I'm going for. And head to head, I mean 3 draws. Damn. Damn, man. And by the head, there you go. This is it right here. So what round was this? Does it say? Emirates Stadium, Europa League, round of 16. That's mad. That's mad. Anyway, so again, so we repeat ourselves. 1-all draw. So 3-1 on aggregate to Atleti. Here, 3-0 to PSG. So 5-0 on aggregate to PSG. And here, 2-0 Arsenal at the Emirates, meaning it's going to be 3-0 on aggregate. Now, the big one. Now, listen, I'm going to do a preview on this with Matrix, pick up Matrix, and I'm going to be doing a preview on my own as well. Guys, all I'm going to tell you is we did a fantastic job winning 2-1. However, I am disappointed to a degree because I think we could have beaten them by more. Now, I know Madrid fans, some of them will be like, or a good portion will be like, oh, but we could have beaten Bayern too. We had our chances, but you had Neuer in goal. Yeah, but we're acting like you never had Thibaut Courtois. So what are we doing here? You know what I mean? So yeah, enough with the BS. And by the way, I feel like in the first half we were too safe. Second half we gave them more of a go, and that goal from Harry Kane, by the way, was very important because that goal in the second half. First of all, he turns up in a big night, fantastic. So does Ulisse. So I ain't trying to hear no chat about him not them man not turning up in big games. But secondly, it's the fact that when we scored in the second half, immediately from kickoff, after Pavlovic winning the ball off of Carreras, she had a howler, by the way. Ulisse spun that man. Yeah, it was one of those. Momentum was in our favor, even though they had their few opportunities. It is one of them ones. These man, if they're gonna somehow score against us, they need to be on it. Mbappe and Vinicius Junior, him and him, they're gonna have to be fully on it. And they are missing Chouameni because he got a yellow card. And I like how Madrid fans say it's not. It is deserved. Just see what you don't really say. Cool. Again, Hoyson, listen. I, I'll be honest. Yeah, he ran past Limer, which by the way, Limer, that is despicable. But at the end of the day, like they're better off playing Militao. They're better off playing Militao and Rudiger together. Trent, I thought, did very well against Luis Diaz. Luis Diaz, I expect much better from him. I'm not gonna lie. So yeah, it was one of those games in which there was chances, but you can tell if you were watching as a neutral or whatever that we were overall the better team. Um, so yeah, I do think as well at the Allianz we need to be more clinical than we were in the Santiago Bernabeu, and I do feel like we will do so. And I'll tell you this: I'm gonna predict again after I do it now on other previews that I'm doing on the Barn channel. Go check ZeerTalks FCB. But if I had to give a prediction right now, I'm sticking with it. 4-1 Bayern München, which means the aggregate score will be 6-2 on aggregate. Crazy scoreline? Yes. Guys, you need to understand something. This Real Madrid team, like, listen, I respect that Madrid win all the time, usually, blah, 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 blah. When they had leaders, they were able to do this remontada stuff. They ain't able to do no remontada. By the way, I didn't even predict Barca to do a remontada against Atleti neither. That was why I said any remontada possible because of them two games. Maybe even Liverpool game or Sporting, whatever. Mathematically, all these games, there's a remontada in them. I personally just don't see any of them happening. I personally just don't see any remontada happening. Now, if I had to pick a game that most likely a remontada would happen, people will say Sporting because they want to laugh at Arsenal. Personally, for me, a low-key Barca one is the one to look out for because I feel like a guy like Yamal could turn up when it matters. But as for this one, I don't see Real Madrid doing a remontada. They just don't have the leaders. Mbappe plays for himself. Vinny plays for himself. You know what I mean? Maybe he'll play as a team once Mbappe is not there, but once they're together, yeah, it's like a show off of like who or fight off of like who's the better player in the team. Who, you know? So yeah. Also, Jude Bellingham when he come on was he was very important for them. So maybe he'll probably play at the Allianz Arena. But guys, again, let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. And listen, by the way, if we get to win, we get to add to the UEFA head-to-head tally of a record, which is now going to be a draw. Good. So it'd be like 13 and 13. Good. We'll make that. Hey, listen, let's make that happen. But guys, again, gonna go through it one more time. 1-1 draw, 3-1 aggregate to Atletico Madrid. 3-0 win to PSG, 5-0 on aggregate to PSG. Here, 2-0 win to Arsenal, so 3-0 on aggregate to Arsenal. And then here, the big score, 4-1 Bayern München, meaning 6-2 aggregate to Bayern München. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below, and I'm going to end it here. You know what to do. Subscribe, press alarm bells, future content notifications, like, comment your way, go check socials, and inshallah you're good wherever you are. Again, I'm going to collaborate this with the FCB channel, so stay tuned. Slap the like and subscribe and all that stuff, and hopefully you're good wherever you are. Mia and Mia, take care. Peace.